We are all flawed. As the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius put it, there is a difference between someone with flaws who tries their best and someone who is constantly malicious. It's a sad fact that some people only want the worst to happen to those around them. These people will hurt you and anyone else they can, sometimes because of traumas in their own lives and sometimes because of personality disorders. Either way, you should learn to stay away from these people. But if you know what to look for, here are 5 signs that you're dealing with someone who isn't helpful to you. This not only helps you see and accept your flaws, but it also changes how you see and understand the people around you. It's not to build a wall of separation, but to gain a better understanding of the world, so you can live a more peaceful and worthwhile life through today's video. So that none of us have to walk in the dark without the light of truth and knowledge, let's take a trip to look at the 5 signs that you're dealing with a bad person through the lens of Stoic philosophy. Number 1, the urge to control. We humans are naturally driven to want power and control. It may even be an essential part of our nature. But looking at things through the lens of Stoic thought gives us a different view. Truly controlling others doesn't come from having power over them. It comes from being able to manage your own feelings and responses to the world around you. Stoic philosophy talks about this inner strength that comes from realizing and accepting that the only thing we can truly control is how we see things and how we respond to them. Everything else, from other people's actions to natural events, is out of our hands. In relationships, control is often hidden as care or love. Someone may think they're doing what's best for the other person when they try to guide or protect them, but Stoicism says that each person can only be the master of their own behavior. This behavior can show up in many ways, such as unwarranted jealousy or demands for unfair changes or limits on personal freedom. It shows that the controller is insecure and afraid, as well as selfish and lacking a deep knowledge of what love and freedom really mean. Even worse, control only causes pain and hurts others. It creates an unseen wall between people, breaking down trust and connection. Its effects go beyond emotional loss. They also affect self-esteem and personal growth on both sides. Stoic philosophy tells us to understand and accept things as they are. Accept that everyone has the right to freedom and self-mastery, and work on controlling our own thoughts and actions in order to live a freer and more meaningful life. Jack and Julia's relationship started out based on deep trust and love, but over time, Jack started to feel an unnamed fear of losing Julia as he tried to protect her from imagined risks and dangers. Jack slowly became controlling. He spoke out against some of Julia's friends, saying they were bad for her. He was also unhappy with her close friends' choices, saying he only wanted her to be respected. Sadly, these actions weren't based on love, but on fear and a need to be in charge. At first, Julia tried to understand and even change to please Jack, but his control and suspicion grew with each day. Julia felt like she was losing her personal space and freedom, which led to heated arguments, with Julia feeling stifled and Jack desperately trying to hold on to what he was most afraid of losing. Over time, the relationship became tense and full of stress. Jack's need to be in charge showed that he was insecure, and was also the main reason why Julia and Jack both felt like they were no longer in charge of their own lives. Julia decided it was time to take back her freedom and self-respect. A relationship that had been full of love and hope had turned into a painful lesson in how important it is to trust others and have personal freedom in love. One of the great Stoic philosophers said, "Can you no longer see a road to freedom? It's right in front of you. All you have to do is turn over your wrists." By saying this, he emphasized that we all have the power to choose how to deal with and accept life. Are you trying to control the things you can't change? Are you honoring and accepting the freedom of others? Stoic thought is more than just a way to live. It also helps us remember our inner strength. In the next part, Facing and Overcoming Challenges, we'll talk more about how to use these lessons to find peace and inner strength and become the best versions of ourselves. The drive to control is the strong desire that some people have to change or order the actions, thoughts, or behavior of others. It's possible for this urge to show up in many areas of life, such as relationships, the workplace, and managing oneself. Understanding this urge is important because it changes how people interact with each other and can cause problems if not handled properly. It comes from many different mental reasons, like fear, insecurity, a need for stability, or a desire for power. Psychological roots. The need to control often comes from a deep-seated fear or feeling of not being safe. People may feel the need to control other people or events in order to lessen their feelings of vulnerability or uncertainty. It could also be a learned behavior based on family figures or past events, where being in charge meant being safe or successful. Effects on relationships. Having too much control can make personal and business relationships difficult. When someone's freedom is taken away, they might feel stifled or unappreciated by their partners, friends, or co-workers. This can make people angry, make them less likely to trust each other, and eventually cause relationships to fall apart. Control versus influence. Control and influence are two different things that you should know about. People who are influential can persuade and support others to make their own decisions, while people who are controlled often force others to make decisions or directly manipulate their choices, which limits their freedom. Self-awareness and management. The first step to change is to become aware of your own impulses to control your behavior. Self-awareness can be grown by thinking about yourself, getting feedback from other people, and maybe even getting professional help, like therapy. Mindfulness and stress management are two other techniques that can help people feel less need to control. Building healthy dynamics. You can build healthier dynamics at home and at work by encouraging open conversation, mutual respect, and delegation. Setting clear limits and respecting others' boundaries is also helpful. This encourages a fair exchange of ideas and power. Getting to know and controlling your need to be in charge can help you have healthy, happier relationships and feel more at peace with yourself. Being aware of when control is based on personal doubts or fears can also help people deal with deeper problems and have better interactions with others. Number 2. The mask of charm. Imagine out of all the people and relationships you meet, you accidentally enter a magical land. That's where the first look sets your heart on fire. There's an instant attraction when someone catches your attention with their alluring charm and irresistible allure. This isn't just instant attraction, it's a deep-seated instinct in all of us to connect, to be accepted, and to be loved. But when we look more closely at Stoic philosophy, we see a different picture, a world where autonomy and wisdom are the keys to unlocking truth. Beyond the glittering facade, we see the true nature full of the secrets of those we thought had enchanted us. The mask of allure isn't just an outer shell. It's a way for others to attract and even control us. These people often act like they are caring, attentive, and always willing to help, but sometimes their actions are motivated by selfishness or even malice. According to Stoicism, we should carefully observe and analyze both the outside world and ourselves. When we see someone attractive, Stoicism tells us to ask ourselves if they really care about our well-being, or if their actions are just part of a bigger plan to get what they want. There is a big difference between genuine allure and deceptive allure, and it has to do with the intention and result of the action. Someone who is truly kind and caring won't try to take advantage of their kindness. It's also common for people who use allure to get what they want to only think about themselves. Stoicism stresses how important it is to trust your feelings and look for warning signs. During interactions, the mask of allure will sometimes start to slip, showing the person's true intentions. This means we have to stay alert and not be fooled by empty promises or shiny appearances. Consider the case of Mark, a successful businessman who always seems happy to share his experiences and offer help to his co-workers. However, as time goes on, some of Mark's co-workers start to notice a pattern in his behavior. Mark's help often comes with implicit expectations. For example, he helped a co-worker finish a difficult project only to later hint that they owed him a favor. Another time, he volunteered to lead a new work group only to then use the group's success as a stepping stone for his career. These are not random acts of kindness. They are carefully planned steps towards building a virtual network of indebtedness through which Mark can slowly get what he wants. People around him start to feel uneasy when they realize that his charming appearance could just be a mask that hides the fact that he doesn't want to help people, but rather control and profit from their social relationships. There will always be people with charm, whether they are telling the truth or not. But in Stoic philosophy, we learn the value of self-awareness and independence, which not only protects us from bad influences, but also helps us grow as people and understand them better. Your opinion is important to us. Have you ever met someone who used their charm to get what they wanted? How can we learn to tell the difference between genuine charm and dishonesty, especially in the workplace today? Please share your thoughts and ideas in the area below the video. People who carry darkness within them often show behavior and thoughts that don't fit with the ideas of kindness and empathy. Recognizing these people and protecting yourself from their harmful effects is not only an art, but also a necessary self-defense measure. But how can we accurately recognize these signs? We need to learn how to see and deal with this truth in a calm and steady way. Let's look at a key sign that you're dealing with a bad person and learn how to avoid being fooled. A concept called the mask of charm is the idea of putting on a character or facade to make yourself seem more charismatic, likable, or interesting than you really are. This could be used in a lot of different situations, from personal ones to work ones. People use their personality traits, actions, and spoken and unspoken cues in a planned way to make others like them. This is called the mask of charm. It can help you get ahead in your personal and work life, but it also brings up moral questions about what is real and what is fake. Understanding this idea can help people handle social situations better, figure out what other people are trying to say, and keep a balance between being true to yourself and being able to fit in with others. 5 things you should know about the mask of charm. How to read social cues. It's important to understand and react to social cues if you want to use the mask of charm well. This includes reading people's tone of voice, facial expressions, and body language so that you can have a conversation that fits the crowd well. Getting better at emotional intelligence. The mask of charm has a lot to do with emotional intelligence. Recognizing your own and other people's feelings can help you have more meaningful and empathetic interactions. This can add to the charm by making encounters seem more genuine and well thought out. Verbal eloquence practice. It is very important to be able to speak clearly, convincingly, and carefully. This means picking the right words, changing the tone of your voice, and using a speaking style that can hook and sway your audience. Communication without words. Body language, movements, and eye contact are all important parts of the mask of charm. Most of the time, these things can show trust and warmth better than words alone. Ethical considerations. It's important to think about the moral effects of using the mask of charm. When you use charm, you shouldn't try to trick people. Try to stay true to yourself even when you're consciously making changes to how you show yourself. For long-term partnerships and personal integrity, this balance is very important. It can be helpful to understand and use the mask of charm, but it's also important to stay true to your own values and views when you're with other people. Number 3. The absence of empathy. Think about a situation at work where a cold and uncaring CEO doesn't show empathy for an employee who is having personal problems. After the employee told the CEO that he was taking care of a seriously ill family member, the CEO still wanted him to work extra hours and wouldn't let him take any time off, saying that work always comes first. This shows that the CEO doesn't care about the employee's health or well-being. Instead, he only cares about the job's short-term benefits, ignoring the employee's basic needs and humanity. This lowers the morale of the workers and causes them to lose trust in their boss, which breaks down the relationship between the boss and worker. It's more important than ever to keep a balance between reason and feeling. Stoic philosophy gives us the tools to deal with these problems in a meaningful and successful way. Dealing with people who don't understand us is one of the biggest problems we face in our personal and professional lives. This tests our patience and toughness and makes us think about how we should act and stick to our morals and principles when things get tough. Lack of compassion shows up in many ways, including actions and words. But its real effects are much deeper and last longer. It not only hurts and stresses out the people who are directly affected, but it also makes the workplace less safe and trusting, which leads to less creativity and productivity. This shows that even if you try to ignore or accept a lack of empathy, its effects will stay with you and hurt you in any situation. The most important thing we can control is how we react to it. When you see a lack of empathy, try to look at it objectively and not let your negative feelings get in the way. When you show care and understanding to yourself and others, you'll see that we're all going through our own struggles, and that compassion is the key to getting past division and pain. Sebastian, one of the great Stoic thinkers, once said that how you deal with things is more important than what you deal with. This sentence emphasizes that we have the power and ability to choose how we react in every situation, even when we are going through hard times. This not only helps us get through them, but it also makes us a source of inspiration and strength for those around us. In life, we will inevitably meet people who lack compassion. However, by applying the principles of Stoicism, we can learn to consciously perceive and deal with these situations in a patient and compassionate way. This not only helps us protect and nurture our moral integrity, but it also helps make the world a better place where compassion and mutual understanding are valued and fostered. So the next time you are dealing with someone who lacks compassion, ask yourself how you can actively practice compassion not only toward others, but also toward yourself. In what situations do you find it hardest to stay compassionate? What can help us get through these challenges? We hope this video was helpful to you. If you like this message and want to help us, please like and share the video with your friends. Together we can make the community stronger and better. The ability to understand and share another person's feelings is called empathy. It is one of the most important parts of social interaction and conversation. It's not enough to just understand how someone else feels. You have to also feel some of the same emotions, thoughts, or views that they do. Lack of empathy, which is sometimes called empathy deficit, can have a big effect on human relationships, society as a whole, and people's moral behavior. Definition and signs. Someone lacks empathy when they can't or won't match their emotions with those of others. This can show up as not caring about how your actions affect other people, not caring about how they feel, and having trouble making close relationships. Understanding the mind and brain. Studies show that not having enough empathy may be connected to some mental illnesses, like narcissistic personality disorder, antisocial personality disorder, and autism spectrum disorders. Neurologically, these problems may be linked to unusual activity in the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex, which are parts of the brain that help us recognize and process emotions. Changes in relationships. People who are severely lacking in empathy may find it hard to keep personal ties going. They might seem cold, distant, or too critical, and they don't always understand or care about other people's emotional needs, which can cause problems and a loss of connection. Problems for society. Not having empathy can lead to problems like bullying, discrimination, and general social discord on a bigger scale. Communities with more empathy tend to have more selfless actions, which are important for getting along with others and working together. Practice and improvement. Some parts of empathy are natural, but it can also be grown and improved through intentional practice and guidance. Some techniques used to boost emotional intelligence and better understanding between people are empathy training programs, mindfulness meditation, and focused education. It is important to understand and deal with the lack of empathy if we want to build healthier communities, healthier relationships, and a more caring community. Number 4, the web of lies. Have you ever felt your heart get tight? As a response to the actions of people who mean harm, these people always use lies as a scary way to get what they want. They are not because they hurt other people. Their lies turn into sharp weapons, a way to hide the truth and cleverly control and trick other people. Pathological lying is marked by uncontrollable repetition that is often not needed. It is done for a secret reason, usually to gain power or avoid taking responsibility. Changes in storylines, inconsistent behavior, and exaggerated responses when questioned about the truth are all signs of pathological lying in the workplace. Lying can have serious effects, as it not only creates a toxic work environment, but also hurts trust among co-workers, which lowers productivity and team morale. Those who lie Stoic philosophy suggests that we should be calm and sensible. It tells us not to let our feelings cloud our judgment and answer to their lies. Stoicism tells us to stay independent and not let other people's lies affect our mood or choices. Anna, a committed accountant, starts to notice mistakes in her co-worker Tom's reports. This is a great example of how to deal with a liar at work. Tom makes himself look like a good candidate for a new management job by bragging about things he hasn't done in his project reports. In every meeting, Tom adds more information to his list of accomplishments to show that he is an excellent worker. Anna was shocked and disappointed, but she didn't let her feelings get the best of her. She started taking notes and gathering proof of the mistakes in Tom's reports and the wrong project descriptions she knew about. Once she had enough proof, Anna set up a private meeting with her manager and told her everything objectively, not showing that she was upset or angry. After reading the information Anna gave, the manager decided to thoroughly investigate all project reports and reevaluate the employee performance review process. Thanks to Anna's smart and wise approach in the journey against the web of lies, not only Tom, but the whole company learned how important it is to be honest and open. We have seen the power of Stoic thought and learned how to deal with mean people in a wise way, even when facing difficult problems. Let's remember that we can always stand strong and get past any problems. As Marcus Aurelius said, the point of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to avoid finding oneself in the ranks of the insane. Let courage and wisdom lead us to success and peace, and let's work together to make the world a better place where respect and honesty are highly valued. The phrase "the web of lies" could be used to describe how complicated and dishonest digital communication can be, especially on the internet. Misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation can spread through many channels and have an effect on public opinion, personal relationships, and even world politics. The idea brings up how hard it is to tell truth from lies in the digital age, where information spreads quickly, and people can be anonymous on the web, which helps lies spread. Definition and scope. The web of lies is the complicated web of lies that are spread on the internet. This includes everything from lies and fake news to scams and ads that aren't telling the truth. The reach is very broad, touching not only individual users, but also groups and societies as a whole. How the disease spreads. On the internet, lies are spread in many ways, such as through news websites, blogs, groups, and social media sites. More selective information is amplified by algorithms and echo chambers, which often favor shocking or emotionally charged material, even if it's not true. Effects on society. Spreading lies online has bad effects on society, such as making people less trusting of the media and institutions, making people more divided, and changing people's minds. This can cause problems in society, have an effect on elections and public policies, and even start fights. Problems with counteraction. It's hard to fight the web of lies because the internet is so big, information spreads so quickly, and digital contact is used all over the world. Fact-checking, teaching people how to use the media, and putting in place rules are all things that are being done, but the spread of false information is often faster. Things to think about for the future. As technology changes, so do the ways that lies are spread and fought. As AI and machine learning technologies improve, they give people new ways to spread and spot false information. Staying ahead of bad people while protecting free speech and access to accurate information will always be a problem. It is very important to understand and deal with the web of lies if we want to keep our digital interactions honest and, by extension, our democratic societies healthy. Number 5. Mastery of how to manipulate. In the complicated world of people, the art of dominance often lurks in the shadows, ignoring beauty and charm on the outside. But Stoic philosophy says that the soul should always be ready to face harsh truths. Evil comes in many forms, and lies can be told to anyone. If someone wants to control others, they will come up with complicated plans and lie all the time. People who want to dominate others often try to control them like puppeteers control dolls to their will. To avoid deception, one must develop their intuition and sharpen their mind. There are subtle signs to pay attention to, like gentle whispers of concern deep within the soul. Those who lie may use flattery to win over their targets or hide their true intentions behind a facade of fake EMP. Falling into the trap of deception is like playing a psychological game of abuse and betrayal. It can change your life and leave deep scars. Once the web of deception falls apart, victims may feel like they are still caught in a web of lies. If someone lies to you, you could lose your independence and sense of self-worth. This can break trust and ruin relationships. Stoic philosophy can help you stay strong against the tricks and traps of deception. By focusing on self-awareness and meditating, you can strengthen your spirit against the allure of deception. Stoic philosophers say that we should look for virtue and courage within ourselves, because it is only in the crucible of hardship that we are tried for true patience on the journey of facing deception. Stop and think about the weak spots and deepest fears that con artists try to take advantage of. How can we become more discerning and patient in the face of deceit? In a world full of it, ethics can help you find self-control and a deeper understanding. By following the teachings of Stoic philosophy, you can bravely and logically navigate through the rough waves of deception. Remember what the ancient Greek philosopher Epicurus said: "It's not events that bother people, it's their judgments about them." Choose wisely and develop the values that lead to true freedom and inner peace. Life throws us many surprises and people who don't bring us good. According to Stoic philosophy, one of the most important things you can do to protect yourself and learn more about yourself is to recognize the signs of a bad person. Next, we'll open a door to the mind and invite us to go deep into ourselves to find out the truth about evil. From the point of view of the Stoic philosopher, we don't just look for signs of evil, we also look deeper into our own nature. Let us be guided by questions like, who are we really, and what is human nature? During this conversation, we will not only look at the outer signs of evil, but also go deep into our souls to learn more about ourselves. This will help us build a more authentic and meaningful life by discovering our true nature. In human relationships, manipulation is a complicated idea that is often misunderstood. It means directing or changing someone else's thoughts, feelings, or actions in a sneaky way, usually without them realizing it. Mastering manipulation can be used for good or bad. Skilled communicators can use manipulation to get what they want out of talks, while unethical manipulators use others for their own gain. Knowing how manipulation works can help people spot it, fight it, and use their influence in a healthy way in different circumstances. Understanding human psychology. To be good at manipulating people, you need to know a lot about how they think and feel. This means knowing what makes people feel bad, how their minds work, and what their basic needs and wants are. Psychological insights are often used by manipulators to guess and change what other people will do. Communication skills. If you want to manipulate someone well, you need to be able to talk to them clearly. This means not only being able to persuade people with your words, but also being good at reading their body language and face expressions. These tools are used by skilled manipulators to make people trust, care about, or feel other feelings that help them reach their goals. Strategic thinking. Long-term planning and strategic thinking are often used in manipulation. Like in a game of chess, manipulators have to guess how other people will respond and plan their next moves. This strategic approach lets them gently steer situations toward the results they want, without letting anyone know what their plans are. Emotional detachment. People who are manipulators often keep some emotional distance. This lets them stay objective and manage well without letting their own feelings get in the way. This can help with manipulation, but it can also cause moral problems and a lack of real relationship with other people. Ethics. There are a lot of different ways to think about the ethics of manipulation. It's important to think about what deceptive behavior means on a moral level. When you use your influence responsibly, you make sure that your actions don't hurt other people and that your deceptive skills are only used in moral situations, like when you're negotiating or leading, and not when you're trying to trick or take advantage of others. People who understand these aspects of manipulation will be able to tell when they are being influenced and will be able to use influence in their personal and professional lives in an honest and ethical way. Number 6. An unexpected revealing sign. When it comes to interacting with other people, some actions or events can be used as telling signs that can give you surprising details about their personality, goals, or the situation at hand. These times, which are often subtle or missed, can be very important for getting to the bottom of things that aren't obvious at first glance. Looking into the idea of an unexpectedly revealing sign means looking at times when small, seemingly unimportant details show important information that changes the way we think and make decisions. Observation skills. You need to be good at observing things to be able to spot and understand unexpected signs that show something. Paying attention to things that other people might miss can give you important clues about how people really feel and what drives them, as well as about hidden aspects of different situations. Context is key. Any sign that tells you something important often depends on the situation in which it shows. To correctly read these signs, you need to know about the bigger picture, including the people involved, the history, and their own personalities. Emotional intelligence. People with a lot of emotional intelligence can pick up on small clues in other people's behavior and words that could point to bigger problems or truths. This includes noticing speech patterns that don't make sense, actions that aren't typical, or emotional responses that don't fit with what is being said. Critical thinking. When someone sees an unusual sign, they need to use critical thinking to figure out what it means and how important it is without going to conclusions. This means asking questions, reviewing data, and putting it all together to make good decisions. Communication. It's very important to be able to talk to each other clearly when an unexpected revealing sign is found. This is especially true if the information needs to be shared or if it changes how a group makes decisions. Communicating clearly and thoughtfully can help others understand what the sign means and change how they think or act as a result. These points show how important it is to be alert, understand the situation, and have good interpretation skills in order to pick up on and act on small clues that lead to bigger truths in the things we do and say every day. In our daily lives, we walk through a world where people from different cultures and locations share common areas. Along this path, we meet a wide range of people, from those who are kind and trustworthy to those who can hurt us. Because of this, it is very important to be aware of and stay away from people who are out to hurt you. Stoicism is one of the oldest philosophical systems. It not only helps us understand how to deal with life, but it also gives us the tools to spot evil and use those tools in our daily lives. By learning more about this philosophy, we can find out more about ourselves through 5 signs of a bad person. Fraud in talking to people. Evil people often try to be too nice and loving, and they use sweetness in their speech to hide what they really are like. Stoicism tells us to be honest and sincere. When you talk to someone, look at their actions and see if they match what they say. Bad people rarely take responsibility for their deeds. Instead, they tend to blame others or circumstances. Not taking responsibility is a big trait of bad people. To be patient, we should control what we can, accept what we can't, and always be responsible for what we do. Not caring. Not being able to relate to others shows that the person is bad because they don't care about their feelings or wants and only look out for themselves. Stoicism shows us how important it is to have strong community ties and empathy, as these are the building blocks of all healthy relationships. Abuse of power. Bad people often want to control and dominate other people. They may use their status or power to hurt or control others. Stoicism encourages people to use their power wisely for the good of everyone, not to oppress or control others. Strong self-love or admiration can make someone selfish and not care about other people's feelings or interests. They often put their own needs first and won't think twice about trampling others to get what they want. Stoicism teaches us to be humble and put the needs of others ahead of our own. Not only does noticing and understanding these signs help us stay safe from bad people, but it also helps us build healthy, long-lasting relationships. Stoicism teaches us to be self-controlled, accepting others, and most importantly, living a moral life. By applying these lessons to our daily lives, we not only avoid bad people, but we also move toward a happier and more meaningful life. Life is full of challenges, and Stoicism has taught us how to recognize and stay away from bad people. Hopefully this video has given you some warning signs to help you avoid bad people and made your life stronger. Remember, it's not enough to just recognize them. You have to also do something about them. Have you ever seen these signs? What have you done to protect yourself? If you thought this video was useful and inspiring, please don't forget to like and share it with others. To keep getting such helpful content, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon so you don't miss any new videos from us. Thanks for joining us and sharing your thoughts on Stoic philosophy with us. Remember that in a world full of problems, real power lies in controlling our reactions and choosing the path of ethics. Keep watching the next videos shown at the end of today's video and follow Stoic principles to find strength and peace in your soul. Goodbye and see you in the next videos.